Do you see this car here? Beautiful steering wheel, fully illuminated dashboard, that little sound that makes a person feel like they finally won at life. Relax, it's not mine. If it were up to me, I wouldn't be here talking to you. I would be sleeping, or by eating, or licking me, which is basically the pinnacle of existence. But today I decided to speak, because apparently you humans keep making the exact same financial mistake, every day, en masse. You confuse looking rich with being financially well off. And that explains a lot. You look at the car, clothes, watch, trip, motivational caption written at 3 in the morning, and they think that's success. It is not. Most of the time, it's just about performance. Theater, rich cosplay, being financially secure is a silent process. It's discreet and, to be honest, kind of boring. But you know what's even more annoying? Working for 40 years with no freedom whatsoever, hating the alarm clock, living from Friday to Friday. So pay attention. Modern humans are obsessed with status. You like to be seen, recognized, validated. Status is about buying expensive things to impress people you don't even know. Or worse, people you don't like. Freedom is not having to prove absolutely anything. Posting a photo with a rental car on the weekend is considered a status symbol. Freedom is not having to worry about Monday. Status is about appearing busy. Freedom is choosing what to do with your own time. But since freedom doesn't generate likes, you ignore it. Let's talk about Lamborghini. It's always him. You see a Lamborghini and automatically think, that person won. Perhaps? Or perhaps that person only made a small down payment, financed the rest in 72 installments with very high interest rates, chronic anxiety, and a slight pain in their chest every 5th of the month. You see the car, he doesn't see the debt. You see the smile, you don't see the payment slip, you can see the steering wheel, he doesn't see the contract. And then you compare yourself to a completely edited version of reality. That's not inspiration. This is a psychological trap. And the worst part is that it works. It works because humans are comparative creatures. You don't measure success in absolute terms. You measure success by looking to the side. If your neighbor seems better off, you feel worse. Even if your life is objectively okay. Even if you are making progress. Even if you're doing everything right. Now let me throw you a die that hurts but sets you free. More than half of people cannot afford an unexpected expense of $1,000. This is not a luxury. This is not showing off. This is an emergency, a problem with the car, a tooth, just some unforeseen event. Now listen to me carefully. If you have $2,000 saved up, you're already better off financially than many people who appear rich online. But that doesn't show up in the feed, so nobody talks. And this is where the real signs begin. Not the pretty signs, the true signs. The first real sign that you're doing well financially, you have money saved up for when something goes wrong. This is not money for investment. This isn't money to show off. It's not money to post a story with the caption gratitude. It's money to avoid panicking. When you know that an unexpected event won't destroy your life, his posture changes. You accept less abuse, you make better decisions, you sleep better. Financial peace of mind is an invisible luxury, but extremely powerful. Second sign that you're doing well. You know exactly where your money is going. You know how much you earn. How much do you spend? How much is left? This may seem basic, but you'd be shocked by the number of people who live completely in the dark. Some people open their bank app like they're opening a doctor's exam result, afraid, with anxiety. If you don't do that, even though their numbers aren't perfect yet, you're already ahead of most people, because control comes before growth, always. Some people earn good money, but they don't know where it all went. Some people earn little, but they know exactly what they're doing. The second person is much closer to freedom. Third sign, and this one is rare, you're living below your potential. Most people earn more, and immediately raises the standard of living. Better car, bigger house, more fixed expenses, more installments, more obligations, and that's where they get trapped. The more expensive your lifestyle, the more expensive your freedom is. The less you need to spend to live well, the less money you need to be free, the less you need to be free. Freedom is the power to say no, not for an abusive boss, not for a job you hate, not for something that doesn't make sense to you. This doesn't show up in photos, but it changes your whole life. And here's an important detail. Living below your means doesn't mean depriving yourself of everything. It's not about living in misery. It's not suffering. It's about consciously choosing where to spend. It's about not spending money just to impress. It's about spending because it makes sense to you. Many people confuse freedom with luxury. Luxury fades, freedom remains. Luxury impresses others, freedom protects you. If you've identified with at least one of these signs so far, breathe. You're probably doing better than you think, even if you're not yet where you want to be. Even though there's still a long way to go, silent progress is still progress. Now that you understand the silent signs that things are going well, let's talk about the part nobody likes, the uncomfortable part. The part that hurts the ego, the part that many people skip in the video. Let's talk about debt. First, let me be fair. Debt is not automatically the villain of the story. The villain is when debt controls you, when she decides where you work, when she decides whether you can sleep peacefully, when she decides if you can say no, if you know exactly how much you owe, if everything is paid on time, if that doesn't keep you up at night, okay, you are in control. Now, if you use one card to pay for another, if you borrow money to make ends meet each month, one avoids looking at the bill as one avoids looking in the mirror. That's not bad luck. This is not the system's fault. This is disorganization. And financial disorganization exacts very high interest rates. Some people earn good money, but he lives on the edge. Some people earn less, but sleep peacefully. The difference isn't about salary, it's about control. Now let's talk about the most dangerous trap of all, comparison. Humans love to compare themselves. You guys do this all the time. At work, in the family, on the internet. There will always be someone earning more, traveling more, posting more, showing off more. What if you measure your life by the performance of others? You'll feel inadequate forever. I've seen people with millions in the bank feel poor because their friends had more, and I am a cat inside a car that probably isn't even mine. Do you see how this doesn't make sense? Comparisons never end. If you earn 100,000, you'll compare yourself to someone who earns 200. If you earn 200, compare it to someone who earns 500. If you earn 500, compare it to someone who earns 1,000,000. If you don't learn to measure success by your own criteria, there is no number that will satisfy you. Now let me give you a very strong sign of financial maturity. When you stop asking, how do I compare to others? And starts asking, am I better than I was before? This changes everything. Now, pay close attention. There are warning signs that you cannot ignore. And I'm not going to be funny here, because this is serious. First warning, if talking about money makes you lazy, good people with money aren't necessarily geniuses, they are consistent people. Reviewing finances is boring, I know, but ignoring it is worse. If you only look at your bills when there's already a problem, the problem is no surprise, it's negligence. Second warning, if you need to borrow money to make ends meet each month, this is a clear sign that something is not working. There's no shame in that, but this is a warning. Notice to reduce expenses, notice to reorganize priorities, notice to change something. Third warning, if your bills surprise you, if you look at your statement and think, how did I spend all that money? This is a clear sign of a lack of financial awareness. Money disappears quickly when you're not paying attention. Now let's talk about perspective, because sometimes the problem isn't your situation, it's your point of reference. Your net worth will rise and fall. That's normal. Investments fluctuate, income varies, life happens. The mistake is to look at a single moment and think that it defines everything. What matters is the trend over time. If over the years you are improving, learning, and getting organized, you're doing well. Even if there are bad months, even if there are difficult phases. Wealth is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And it's not a noisy marathon, it's silent. While some shout success, others build freedom. Now let me tell you a truth that almost no one likes to hear. Wealth takes time. It takes time because it requires patience. It takes time because it requires discipline. It takes time because it requires tedious choices. It's not glamorous, it's not fast, it doesn't make for a good story, but it works. Rome wasn't built in a day, and wealth doesn't either. It is built in silence, with small decisions, repeated, over time. While many pretend to be successful, others build autonomy. And autonomy is the power to choose. Choosing where to work, choosing who to associate with, choosing how to live. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You already think differently from the majority, even if you're not yet where you want to be. Even though there's still a long way to go, silent progress is still progress. Now, if you want to learn how to better manage your money, invest, understand this game, there's content here for that. If you just want to show off, good. The internet is fine. I'm going to sleep over there because unlike many people, I don't need to prove anything.